Hey people, thank you for clicking on me and checking out the A.n.A podcast channel. My name is Alex Mack, and I am going to do another video here for Mac Reacts, the filler content of the A.n.A podcast channel. It's a joke, it's a little joke, So I'm going to just go through react to some video game stuff here. My partner Alex Hood isn't that huge in the video game, so he doesn't mind if I go through all this stuff. Don't waste any more of his night, going through all this nerd stuff. I think I'm gonna head over to What Culture Gaming. Excellent channel if you don't know them already. If you don't know them, check them out. They do like excellent stuff on like just pop culture in general. Like I love the video game stuff, the wrestling content, all really good. This time, let's see what we're gonna check out here. All right, so this looks like it's going to be 10 most disappointing video game sequels of all time. And it looks like they got Devil May Cry 2 queued up already. No arguments here, brother. No arguments here. So all right, this one should be pretty good. So yeah, let's see what they got.
The issue of managing a video game follow-up is a universal one across all scales of production. Fans want more of the same, but not too much. They want a budding series to evolve and grow, but not to fundamentally change. In some cases, a sequel arrives that gets the balance just right, but often expectations are outrageously high and disappointment is all too common. Whether because they took off in a strange new direction, lacked that star quality that came before, or were just mediocre, I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and these are the 10 most disappointing video game sequels of all time. Number 10, Paper Mario, Sticker Star. Longtime players of the Paper Mario series generally know what they're getting into. A colorful, irreverent experience that leans into the whole everything is made out of paper concept and emphasizes it throughout. For many, 2004 GameCube title Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door represented the pinnacle of that format. It's tremendously fun and varied, with a large cast of characters that each have
I played the one on
the RPG elements seemed finely
Game Boy
tuned to allow for
Advance,
strategy without
I think,
becoming
or
too
the
deep or
DS.
too shallow. Titles since
And
those
that one
seem
was
to
really
have failed
good
in getting this delicate balance right. 3DS installment Paper Mario Sticker Star remains a controversial example, leaving behind those RPG trappings for the gimmicky titular sticker system, and being a landmark disappointment because of it. It might not be too bad a title, the stickers can be fun to experiment with and the writing is on point, but talk about a drop-off from what came before. Number 9, Prince of Persia, Warrior Within. Okay, full disclosure, I always loved this game. I mean, look at me. Godsmack's I Stand Alone as the theme song did not get any better. Talk to anyone whose blood didn't play professional wrestling at the time, though, and Warrior Within was a cataclysmic, nigh hilarious letdown. Going from the super charming Sands of Time original to this weirdly super angsty muted color palette sequel that felt like the boss's teenage son had led the design meeting. Because to give the haters their due, Sands of Time was a magical fairy tale game, boasting fantastic platforming sections that showcased the prince's remarkable athleticism and time powers. Controlling the sands let you rewind to undo deaths or bust out some sand powers in combat. Warrior Within then largely nailed its combat and level design, but went so all in on a Jak 2 or Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness style tone that many players just couldn't accept it whatsoever. Losing the softly spoken prince that went before, follow-up Two Thrones attempted to hybridize the two styles into a twin gameplay approach. However, that just resulted in a reboot because Ubisoft couldn't think of a genuine way to truly move forward. Number 8, Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
The Dragon Age series represents BioWare at their best. A deep, involving set of RPGs with choices, consequences, and lots of dialogue. It's a version of the legendary developer we made.
It's disappointing. It is disappointing. And I remember it took me a couple of tries to get into the first Dragon Age. But on my like second try, I really got into it, and that's when I like really kind of fell in love with the game, with the world. And I had skipped this one because I remember when it came out, the reviews were just horrible. Like nobody seemed to like it, right? And so I ended up skipping it, and I think I went straight into Inquisition, and I absolutely is one of my favorite, like not even like fantasy RPG games, but one of my favorite games ever. And so I went back eventually, like recently, like when I got like my gaming rig that I'm on now, I went back and I played Dragon Age 2, and it's not that bad. Like in retrospect, it's actually still pretty decent. But compared to the first one and Inquisition, it's just not as strong. Was it BioWare just like retooling and coming back really strong with Dragon Age Inquisition was like the right move to make, because yeah, this the second one is cool. It's cool, and I'm not gonna say it's a bad game, but it's just it don't it's definitely is by far the weakest one in the series.
May never see again, but that hot streak run across the 2000s is always worth admiring. Dragon Age 2 then represents a turbulent time in the series. Hawke's adventure is one that never quite seemed to know what it wanted to be. It offered the player more freedom than before in terms of the choices they made, but its questionable pacing meant that you were never quite sure how or when they would actually matter. Most egregiously, Dragon Age 2 struggled to carve out a world that was truly its own, with some very familiar looking settings popping up throughout. It's a shame, as Hawke is a memorably written character for those who stuck with the game until the credits, but this sequel was the first major stumble for a studio that would only fall apart more across the ensuing decade.
That's true.
Number 7,
That
Resident
is
Evil
true.
6. There will always be highs and lows for any
Resident
long-running
Evil
series. In the case of
6.
Capcom's beloved survival horror franchise Resident Evil, the sixth numbered release would probably qualify as a major low. Resident Evil 4 had changed the formula forever. It implemented a new visceral action-focused true proceedings and pulled it off with purpose, charm, and memorability. It's one of the most celebrated games ever made, and the pressure of following it up was pretty immense. In attempting to do so, Capcom gave us Resident Evil 5 and 6. The former may not be a masterpiece, but it remains an enjoyable enough action-heavy romp, packed with some of the most absurd and memorable moments the series has to offer. Resident Evil 6, though, just took things too far. Trying to please what had now become two audiences, those of slower-paced horror and high-octane action, none of Resident Evil 6's smaller campaigns felt like Resident Evil at all. Capcom would take a long, hard look at themselves across 5 whole years of letting the IP rest before coming back stronger than ever with Resident Evil 7, Village, and an ongoing smattering of remakes. Whether they try to make 6 work after all this time, though, is something we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, Resident Evil 6 was straight up garbage, and it actually kind of plays like it was a bunch of different dev teams that was trying to like make the same game, or maybe it was like a studio mandate that it has to be more like this, and then like they start making that, and then like a month and a half later say no, it got to be like this, and they start making a game like that, because it's the first. I think it starts off with Leon saving the president or something like that. And it started out okay, kind of decent. And it was like, okay, yeah, cool. I'm in a Resident Evil game now. But by the end of it, it went on to some weird, like Call of Duty-esque action sequence thing. And it's just like, this isn't Resident Evil. I don't know what the hell this is. And it had this other character in there that died. Disappeared, and I'm not mad. That game was just a mess, man. And it's like Resident Evil went away for a while, and like you said, Resident Evil 7, it's one of the best games I've ever played. And they went on to like remake like Resident Evil 2, which is amazing. And that was one of my I remember I saved up like damn near 2 months worth of like lunch money to buy that game on the PS1 way back in 98 when it first came out. I'm old. Okay. Yeah. I was in high school back in 97, 98. Anyway, like saved up like a ton of lunch money to buy it. And I remember just sitting there and just enjoying that game. What's still one of my favorite ever video games. And the remake, it lives up to it and more. Just talking about it now, it makes me want to reinstall it from Steam and play it again.
Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Adaptations of beloved franchises like Star Wars need to be treated with tremendous care. Fans are as invested as it's possible to be, and for Star Wars, they want authenticity across their games. The most iconic characters, vehicles, and locales, combat that feels just right, plus epic space battles and cosmic drama worthy of the name. Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 had a great chance to deliver all of this. An expanded take on new canon character Starkiller could have been a visceral treat to control as before, with many expanded force powers and lightsaber tricks going down in history. Sadly, the game was a big critical disappointment, failing to refine the the solid foundation the original had set down. It would later be revealed that the game was crunched to hell and turned around in just 9 months, something that resulted in Force Unleashed 2 feeling like DLC. Poor sales followed, and when Disney took over Star Wars in 2013, plans for Force Unleashed 3 were scrapped entirely. Number 5, Duke Nukem Forever. A lot was riding on 2011.
Man, look, I freaking paid $60 for. I pre-ordered it full on $60 because I was a huge fan of Duke Nukem back in the 90s. And I was hyped. I was excited. I should have known better because the game was delayed for like 13 years or something like that. I should have known better. My dumb. They got me. They got me. I gotta own up to that one. I won't let myself live that down. Okay. I can't believe I paid $60 for that.
Duke
the
Nukem
game
Forever.
was garbage.
It needed to honor the Duke's not-so-good name and prove a worthy addition to his adventures that had come before. Sadly, the project just seemed doomed from the start. Duke Nukem Forever's sad fate is one of the most infamous tales of development hell in gaming history. Once it finally arrived in players' hands, it was plain just how far the genre had come, leaving the Duke far behind. Forever was filled with some insanely outdated jokes likely written almost a decade prior, and was a very basic FPS, failing to provide any innovation or a fresh feel to gameplay like the mighty Duke Nukem 3D once did.
Yeah, that's my game.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
That's
Is it terrible to mess up once like with Mass Effect 3 or mess up again when you're afforded a clean slate? Answers down in the comments because like I said earlier, BioWare did have one hell of a decade across the 2010s. 2017's Mass Effect Andromeda then was ultimately a victim of its own hype or expectation, which is to say that if you had any, you were disappointed. The issue was with how weirdly undercooked the game's marketing was, but quadruply so once we saw just how little care and attention had gone into this supposed soft reboot. Receiving a ton of patches as DLC was cancelled and we found out behind-the-scenes squabbles amongst BioWare dev teams were rife, EA declared Mass Effect as a franchise on ice, until December 2020 promised at least something would come again. Number 3, Devil May Cry 2.
I don't have high hopes
debut
for that,
with so much confidence, swagger, and
3?
all-round panache as Devil
Did they say
May Cry.
3?
Spinning off from a Resident Evil 4 prototype and including enemy juggles as a game mechanic thanks to a bug in development, tagging on a red coat wearing demon hunter who quipped and flipped in equal measure was instant gaming history. It was all massively helmed by one Hideki Kamiya, director of Resident Evil 2, who'd go on to make some of the most stylish games of all time. So what to do for Devil May Cry sequel? Well, how about you get in a completely different director, then swap another in with only a few months before launch. The resulting version of Devil May Cry 2 had wall running and multiple enemy targeting, but precisely none of the raw playability and appeal of the original, replete with a Dante that felt stripped of all personality. Number 2, Fable 3.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Its 2004...
Whoa. Did they say 3 or 2? It said 2. Oh, okay. No, it was number 3. Okay. I was about to say, whoa. No, Devil May Cry 3 was actually amazing. Like that was one of my favorite PS2 games. And but yeah, because I played the first one, right? And loved it. Played that game from beginning to end in like a week or like just under a week. Super hype when Devil May Cry 2 came out. But I should have known because it came out kind of quick, like close to the first one, so that's never a good sign when games come out like super like back to back, unless it's a Madden or something, But yeah, I played it and I was bored. Not sure if I beat it actually, but yeah, it was just bland. It was boring. I could not get into it. Like I think I put it down and like went on to something else after a while, but yeah, no, Devil May Cry 2. And I had the I need to get the HD collection I'll probably get it on Steam at some point. Just because I kind of want to go through it and like actually see if it was that bad. But if memory serves and if what culture has it on this list, it was that bad.
Fable 3. On its 2004 launch, this vast, ambitious, Peter Molyneux-designed RPG delivered creative, engrossing gameplay. In itself, many had an issue with how overblown Molyneux's marketing tactics had been versus the reality
I was
of the
about to
game
say,
itself,
was it
but
that
being
bad,
a
or was it
major,
just the
well-playing
Peter
Xbox
Molyneux just
exclusive
hyping it to the
RPG,
moon?
en masse, we kinda just let it slide. Fable 2 then hit supremely well too, leading to a Part 3 that got everything wrong. Lacking the weighty decisions that made Fable identifiable, also stripped back were your clothing options, weapons, and RPG customization across the board. Even the game's pause menu was just weird, booting you into a room of options that you literally had to walk around. Fable is currently in reboot mode yet again after the practically finished Fable
Yeah,
Legends
we're
was
supposed to be
shelved
getting a new
instead,
one, right?
but Fable 3 was a
I forgot about that.
monumental letdown. And number 1, Dead Space 3.
Dead Space
There's
3.
Resident Evil 4
Yeah.
and there's Dead Space, the perfect
Yeah.
twin over-shoulder shooter combo. For the latter, Isaac Clarke fights with salvaged mining tools. Battles are frantic, gross, and gory,
I think
and there's a killer
microtransactions
atmosphere that brings
really
it all
ruined
together.
this.
For Dead Space 2, everything got enhanced. Combat proficiency, animation, monster design, lighting. For many, Dead Space 2 is the peak of action meets horror in all of gaming to this day. With so much love for 2 installments creating one hell of a trajectory, in came what we now know all too well as EA royally messing everything up.
Yep.
Series creator Glenn Schofield was long gone, and in were premium currencies, microtransactions, co-op shooting campaigns, and an evil moon as a boss fight. It all went sideways fast, undoing all that previous goodwill and benching Dead Space as an entire franchise until EA finally greenlit a remake in 2021. And those are our picks for the most disappointing video game sequels of all time. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below, and please subscribe to the What Culture Gaming podcast.
Yeah, that's a good list, man. That's a good list. Yeah, I just like as a horror fan, yeah, Dead Space was like right up my alley, and I loved it, man. I played through that one. Dead Space 2, it's all the same. I gotta buy like those two on Steam at some point. But yeah, Dead Space 3 came, man. I remember I think I got it from GameFly actually. Is GameFly still a thing? I don't even know if they're still around anymore, but yeah, I remember playing it, and yeah, it was just, yeah, EA ruined the hell out of that. Them and their damn, they want to charge you for everything in it, but yeah, man, that was fun. That was a good list. I enjoyed that one. Are those good memories or just gaming memories, like, trip down memory lane a little bit? But yeah, man, this has been another Mac Reacts episode. So yeah, if you like what you see, then please hit the subscribe button, hit like, and comment down below if you like anything, if you remember playing any of these garbage games that we just listed here, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.